Hey, what's going on, guys? Flick here, and welcome back to another episode of the Liverpool Career Mode. And in the last episode, I asked you guys what we should do about this international management offer from the United States, and a lot of you guys said I should take it. It's a team that I'm personally invested in, being an American, and also it's a team that has some room for growth, and I think that will make things a bit more enjoyable for me. In the past, I've accepted international management offers from the likes of England, the likes of Germany, but I never really got into those saves because those are already teams that have achieved a lot of international success. That hasn't really been the case for the United States, so I want to build this team up. You can take a quick peek at our starting 11 right here, and I think it's a very strong starting 11. I'm a big fan of Bill Hamiden, and I rate him as a keeper, and our bench is pretty stacked as well. A lot of fast and talented players in there, and a lot of young players, to be honest. The United States does have a lot of room for growth if we're looking for things that they do excel in. But in today's episode, we're going to start things off with the game against Southampton. We're going to simulate that and then play this match against Chelsea, who are currently joint top with us in the league table, so that'll be an interesting fixture. Moving on to a EuroLeague group stage match against that Portuguese team, and then ending off the episode with a match against Crystal Palace, who knocked us out of the Capital One Cup in the last episode. So a chance for us to get some revenge. But also, a lot of you guys have been asking about press conferences, and to answer that question, I'll be having a press conference in the next episode of this career mode. So make sure you leave a press conference question down in the comment section below, and I'll try to get to as many of those as possible. And that episode should be going up on Saturday for you guys watching. But now, getting into the Chelsea match, the match that we've all been waiting for. It's at Stamford Bridge, so we do have to beat them away from home, and that is never easy to do, especially against a good team like Chelsea. They've made some transfers that should really improve their defense, and I actually was mistaken. They are currently the pure team up at the top. I think we drew a match a while ago. It would have been against Southampton that we drew against, and they are still currently winning, so that is why they are ahead of us. But we did bring out a good, strong starting 11, hoping to get a good result here and apply as much pressure against Chelsea as possible, but things did not start out well again for us. And we're used to going down early, this time in the 37th minute, courtesy of Diego Costa. It was a nice bit of passing build-up by Chelsea, and I think they deserved that goal. But here Chelsea was just passing the ball around the back, and Courtois ends up passing it to Sturridge. Unfortunately, it did fall on his right foot. And as you guys might know, Daniel Sturridge's weak foot is not the best. And that is one of my biggest pet peeves about him. It's not something we can train up. You can't change his weak foot. And with him having a 2-star weak foot, it just doesn't make for a great striker, in my opinion, for my playstyle. I like having a striker that can finish on both feet, and that's going to be something I take into consideration moving forward. But nice bit of play there by Matip to set up this counterattack. And now it's Christian Benteke. I had enough of Sturridge, so I brought on Benteke, but he wasn't also unable to break down the Chelsea defense. They are just so strong in the back. And I think they've brought in so many players. I think they've got Hummels as well as Cahill. So those are two very strong strikers. Here Marco Reus trying to do something with it. But again, he's unable to get by that Chelsea defense, who were really just sitting back now that they were up 1-0. And here, another good steal. We're creating chances, trying to get back into this game. Royce playing to Divock Origi, and he ends up playing to Benteke. Benteke trying to finesse it, but Courtois making one of the few saves he had to make throughout this match. Here in the 80th minute, still trying to get into the game. Now it's Philippe, who's been in great form in recent episodes. Falls to Marco Reus. He tries to get around, but it's another great tackle, this time by Cesc Fabregas. And it is cleared out once again by Chelsea. They're trying to tack on an extra goal. Palmer playing it inside to Kennedy, to Azpilicueta, and he's able to get around our right back, plays it inside, and John Obi Mikel, what a miss by him. That was just a chance for Chelsea to put it away, but the match did end ultimately at 1-0, so we're still not able to consistently beat the best teams in the Premier League, and I think that sums up this team. We're definitely getting to be one of the contenders for Premier League title, but we need to be the best in order to be the best. Here are the match stats. Pretty equal on most of the stats, and we did create chances in that game, but we just were unable to break down that Chelsea defense. But we're trying to forget about that and move on to the EuroLeague, which we haven't been exactly the most compelling team in our EuroLeague matches. We've got the 1 win and the 2 draws, and we're looking to pick up another win in this one to really legitimize ourselves at the top of the league table. Here's our starting 11, no switches to what I usually put out in the EuroLeague, and I'm still trying to get used to this second team. They played completely different than the first team, but it was a rainy day, and that led to some sloppy play, a lot of yellow cards. I think there were 5 yellow cards or something over the course of this match, and again, we concede early in the 22nd minute, so we had to come from behind, which is never how you want to start a match. But one thing I will say about this season is that we've conceded early so many times that we've gotten pretty good at getting back into the game, and it really doesn't affect our performance too much. And here, just a nice bit of build-up passing, falls to Jordan Ivan once again. I would say he is the standout player for this second team, which in my opinion means that he deserves more first team action. Usually he comes on as a substitute for Marco Reus on that left-hand side, but I might experiment with things and just give him a start somewhere. Like, whether it's in the midfield, whether it's at striker, I want to get him into the first team more because he is a player that scores a lot of the times when I give him a chance. And here he is again, just making the right kind of run, brings it down with a lot of precision. It's a good shot, and eventually it was a good save by the keeper. But that's the stuff I'm talking about. Players that can do that on a consistent basis are the players I want to be giving play time. But here, just again, a nice bit of build-up. Lucas Leiva, a chance to put it away, but what a save by the keeper. You guys will see by the instant replay. For him to do this in the rain, it was just insane. Look at that for his save. Just a last-ditch effort, just falling backwards and saving it with his right hand. But here, we nearly get a bicycle kick with our center back. I don't think I was even controlling him, but that would have been cheeky had he scored it. Probably would have been goal this season, honestly. But here in the 72nd minute, we're still trying to contest and defend it to the best of our ability. It goes to the far post, and that is just one of those chances where you're afraid it might go in the back of the net, and there is nothing you can do about it. But luckily, we walk away from that one. Here in the 85th minute, another good bit of play. Rossiter goes for the far post shot, and it hits the post. I couldn't believe it. We had done so well to try to get into this game and to get the eventual win, but the full-time whistle does blow, and it's yet another draw for us in the EuroLeague. On a positive note, we haven't lost yet in the EuroLeague, and I think at this stage, we're probably safe in advancing with either the first spot or the second spot, but one more win, I think, would ensure it completely. You can see from the stats, their one shot on target was their goal, so that is just heartbreaking to see for the stats because I felt like we've defended pretty well, and it was that one lapse of judgment where we had pushed up too far and the eventual counterattack killed us in that match. But moving on, we wanted to get revenge against Crystal Palace. They had kicked us out of the Capital One Cup, and I wanted to beat them badly in the Premier League, especially after losing to Chelsea in the first game of this episode. We needed to pick up 3 points here. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. We want to stay at either that first or second spot because I want to contend with Chelsea throughout the season. Assuming that they stay at the top, I want to be putting that pressure and eventually overtake them when we get the opportunity to play them again. But things started off spectacularly with Marco Reus getting fouled inside the box. It was a nice chop inside and a poor bit of defending, and Marco Reus did fall to the ground, so good on him. We did decide to give Daniel Sturridge the chance here. I want to do it to boost his confidence. I found, like, if you're having a scoreless streak with a player, letting them have a penalty really does affect their performance, and it lets them get a little bit more confidence, and it ultimately allows you to score more goals for your team. Usually when a player draws a foul inside the penalty box, I let them take the penalty kick. It's more an act of courtesy. At least that's what we do in pro clubs all the time. But at that case scenario, I think it's best for this team as a whole to let Daniel Sturridge get back on his scoring streak. And I think Marco Reus is going to score plenty more goals for this team. He creates so many already that I don't think he needs to worry too much about his goal scoring. And here he is again, making a great run inside the box. Reus trying to finesse it. If he would have shot with his right foot there, I think he would have been able to get that one in the back of the net. But unfortunately, he shot with his left foot. Chance here for Milner to set inside the box. Matip, a couple of fake shots. Falls to Sturridge once again, and I was talking about that confidence. And he did perform better. He didn't necessarily get through on goal a lot more, but his attacking and dribbling just seemed improved. And here's Philippe Coutinho once again making the perfect run. I thought he was offsides at the time, but it was enough to make it 2-0 for us. Crystal Palace was dominating possession, but they weren't getting very many shots, and we were up 2-0 at halftime, and I was happy about that. And I wanted to keep on adding on some goals. But here, they got a chance to get back to the game, but just unable to get shots on target. We bring in some substitutes, Lallana Benteke and Origi, and yeah, it was just a dominating game for us. Marco Reus once again making a good run on the left side, just dominating Ward, showing more pace than him, and he's doing that perfect bit of dribbling to get inside and cut inside the box. It was Delaney, though, making a pretty good save to keep that one from going in. But the match does end at 2-0, so we get our revenge on Crystal Palace, which is exactly what we were looking for. And now we've got the confidence again in the Premier League after picking up a win, and hopefully in the next episode we can continue off that form and pick up some more wins. But guys, that's going to bring an end to today's episode. I hope you have enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you drop a like down below, subscribe if you are new to the channel, and until next time, this has been Flick. I'll be talking to you guys again soon.